Okay, good afternoon class. So today we're just looking at the last exercise, dealing with, I don't know, did we complete 4.12? I think we had to do the even numbers here, no? So I said we're going to still look at number 14 again, not so? Right. So is there any issues with the even numbers here? From exercise 4.12, must now go back. Did we mark the odd and even? Yes? I know. So I'm asking you, so I gave you the even numbers for homework. Yes. So was there any issues with the even numbers? No. Alright. Now coming back to number 14 and 15. Yes? Number 8. Okay, I'll check number 8 now. Okay. Anything else? Sorry? We got 14 and 15 already. Okay, so looking at number 14, it says solve for x for a x minus. Was this the sum? A is greater than b, so it's going to be x into a minus b, which is greater than 2a or 2 into minus b. Okay, so in a what's the name? Just to bring it over, we can't divide by a variable because the sum will come to be, you don't know what a is and b is in terms of negative and positive and all of those things. So we took out a, b as a common factor, and I'm left with x minus 2 is greater than 0. Okay. So now if a is greater than b, which means to say this will be positive here. Not so. If a is greater than b, that will be positive. So for this to be positive, this bracket here has to be positive. So a positive times a positive is positive. Why am I interested where it is positive? Because the inequality is greater than 0. Okay? So for this part here, it's always positive, according to that there. So this must be positive. When is that positive? That will be positive if x minus 2 is greater than 0. So x must be greater than 2. Okay. If you give any value less than 2, 1. If x is 1, 1 minus 2 is minus 1. Not so. So we got minus 1 times positive. If a is greater than b, that means to say it's a bigger number minus a smaller number. So number will always be positive. So a positive times a negative will result in a negative number, which is less than 0. The inequality has to go the other way around. Okay, if that makes sense. So this answer here I'm going with is a x has to be greater than 2. Okay. Let's look at b. Okay. Let's look at b. Again, you're going to get, I don't know why I took this out here, so it's a minus b, x minus 2 is greater than 3. So if a is less than b, what does that mean? You're subtracting a smaller number by a bigger number. Not so? If a is less than b, then a is bigger than b. Not so? If A is less than B, that means you say B is greater than A. So if you say a small number, which is A, minus a bigger number, it will always be minus. Right. So a negative multiplied by what will be a positive. Greater than 0 means positive. So a negative multiplied by what is positive? Negative. So this x minus 2 has to be negative. So x is less than 2. Okay. If A is equal to B, what does that mean? That the A value and the B value is the same. So if I subtract the two numbers that are the same, it will always be 0. So this, in other words, will be 0. Now 0 times what number is greater than 0? 0 times anything will always be 0. Not so? So, is there anything that 0 can be multiplied by to give you a positive number? No. So there is no solution on this one. Okay. Coming to number 15. Number 15. It says solve for x. If A, taking out x as a common factor, x minus 1 less than or equal to 1 minus A. You get the over the equal sign. So x into A minus 1 minus A minus 1 is less than or equal to 0. So A minus 1 into x minus 1 less than or equal to 0. State any conditions that may be necessary. So if we take into account what they had here. Okay, let's take into account what they had. Okay? So what they have is the fact that A is greater than B. So in this case here, we have a 1. So in other words, in the first case, A is greater than 1. Second case, A is less than 1. Third case, A is equal to. That was the three cases that they have there. Yeah? So let's play around with this and see where it takes us. So that's the three cases at which the system of numbers will work, or this inequality will work. Okay. Remember, I think in the previous sum I divided by, the previous time we did the sum, I divided by A minus 1. Eh? And that was my mistake. I shouldn't have divided by A minus 1. You see, this is wrong. It is totally wrong. You can never divide by a variable, because why then? You don't know if that A value is negative or positive or whatever. Okay. So you can't divide an inequality like that. So that was my mistake I made. Right, so looking at, so A, so if A is greater than 1, that means to say that if it's greater than 1, then this can be from anything 2 onwards. So choose a number 3. 3 minus 1 is 2, which is making this A minus 1 positive. Not so. Now positive multiplied by what is going to give you a value that is less than or equal to 0. What must this be? This has to be positive or negative? Negative. Because a positive times a negative is negative. You understand? So how would that be negative? This will be negative if x is less than or equal to 1. Where x minus 1 is less than or equal to 0. So x is less than 1. Less than or equal to 1. Let's look at the B part. Here we say that a is less than 1. Any value less than 1? 0. 0 minus 1? Negative 1. Which means to say this is negative times what will give you a negative solution? Positive. So in other words, that x minus 1 must be greater or equal to 0. So x has to be greater or equal to 1. Not so. If you see here, a is equal to 1. Can a be equal to 1? Yes. If a is equal to 1, I put 1 in here. A, the 1 minus 1 is 0. And 0 times, put 0 times something, so it will be less than or equal to 0. 0 times anything, any value, you of the real number set, you multiply by 0 will be 0. Which also satisfies this inequality. Can you see that? It's equal to 0. So what do you notice here? X can be less than and equal to 1. X can be more than and equal to 1. X can be equal to 1. So all these values exist for x. Not so. So the solution to this, therefore, the solution to the sum, I would say, is therefore x is an element of all the real numbers in the number set. Okay? But this is purely theory. There's a lot of theory involved. No? But you guys understand? Okay, that's how we should approach that sum. Okay. For number 8. You think they will ask some that get an exam? Or should I? Since you guys all said you understand. Oh, now everybody say no. Okay. Solve for x and illustrate the answer on the number line. Now you see now, that's how we set up an exam. No? When every time you say, yes, I understand that. So I say, okay, you understand this, so let's give it to you. So you definitely get that. Yeah. And then we get what you guys are writing. People, what's your LCM here? 15. So let's go. So that must be multiplied by 15. So it's 15 times 3. Plus that must be times by 3. So it's x plus 2. Must be greater than. That must multiply by 5. 1 minus x. This must be multiplied by 15 times 2. So it's going to give you 45 plus 3x plus 6 is greater than 5 minus 5x plus 30. So x is one side, numbers the other side. So it's going to be 3x plus 5x is greater than 35 minus 45 minus 6. So it's minus 10 is negative 16. Is that correct? And that's going to give us 8x divided by 8. Does the inequality swap around here? No. It only swaps around when you dividing and multiplying by 8. Open a color circle at 2. Negative 2. Open. So x must be greater than. Who asked this question? Right, you understand? Where did you go wrong, Michael? Sorry? So you wrote what? 5 plus 30?
5 plus 30 minus 6 minus 45.
It's the same.
Yeah, but 30.
Put it on your calculator. What do you got there? The calculator is wrong, not you. So you got negative 16. Okay. Right, next. Then we went on to check your skills. That was exercise 4.13. Not so. Any problems with number 1? Check your skills. Number 1. What page is this on? 99. Right, number 1, what? C. C. Anything else in number 1? I. You guys. I. Anything else? I see there's an N, supposed to have been an X. Just check the answers. Does the answer have an N in or in an X? X. Then it should have been an X. Okay, so leave I. J. You see that stuff you remember, but just give it the remember the sums in different story. Right, anything else? No. Right, let's go to number 2. Any issues number 2? Number 3? Yes. You're getting greedy now, no? 2 and 3. Number 4 also. Number 5, which number 5? Any issues in number 5? P. Yes, give me a chance. I will say, I'll ask. So you got B, D. Anything else? Number 6. Just hang on. Number 6, first problem, 6, H, okay. Just hang on. 6H, G and H. E, okay. E and F. Okay. Question 7. Sorry? E. D, okay. C and D. and F, okay? I don't even think we'll get through all of these sums. For those of you who have problems with grade 9 geometry, we did a lot of geometry in grade 9. Eh? And grade 8 we did a lot of geometry. Yeah, we did grade 8 and 9 geometry because of the lockdown. But for those of you who want to revise your grade 9 geometry, yes please, you go to YouTube. Have you subscribed the YouTube channel? You go there, everybody should have, but we don't have everybody. It's sad. Right. Listen, you go to the grade 9 folder, you will see there, grade 9 paper 2, geometry was paper 2, no? Grade 9 paper 2, you will see every day I load up a video. This morning I load up an hour-long video. So what you do is you take the diagram down, you draw it, and then you do it, and then you play the video. Then you mark it, and then that's how you should be working through the video. Okay. Don't just watch the video, and then you must fall asleep. No? And I told my son the other day, you had a problem with something? So I told him, okay, go watch this video, and I gave him the link. When I looked, he was sleeping. The video is playing. So what happened? I had to give him a hiding. He's sleeping. So yeah, so basically how you should be doing it is firstly, you do the sum, then you watch the video. Otherwise, it's futile. You're wasting your time. Okay? So we will be speaking about things that you don't know what is going on. Okay? And it's easy, listen, it's easy if you see somebody do it. Not so? But when you do it yourself, it's a different story. No? And you guys are almost first-hand witness of that. Not so? Yes? Sorry? This? What's that? Geometry. Yes, we got the equations to sort out. So that we'll do tomorrow. Is it okay? She said that we're not going to do geometry today. I feel the same way. I'd love it. When I mark the grade 12 papers, they will mark paper 2. A lot of geometry in there. Yeah. Right. Any problems? 8, 9 and 10? Everything. That you can go watch the video again. Okay. Because I don't think we'll get there. Right. Check your skills. Here we go. The question says solve for x. Solve for x. Right, what do we do first? Get rid of our brackets. Distributive law. So it's 20 minus 15x minus 20 plus 2x is equal to 5. So what do we do now? X is one side, numbers the other side. So what do we get? Huh? Negative 15x plus 2x minus 5x equals 20 minus 20. Gone. 0? 18 in the negative. Divide by negative 18 both sides. X equal to 0. Is that correct? Yeah. Right. Who asked this question? Right. Dava, where did you go wrong, my girl?
I got the calculation right. I just said no solution.
No. Rather, leave it as x equal to 0.
So,
if you don't know and you're not sure of when to put no solution, rather don't put it. So most of the time it's right. It's just now and then there's no solution. Okay? But every time it comes in no solution, I will highlight one. Okay? Yes, Michael?
so we'll mark the wrong way if it's like negative 18x
Yes, because that is not, because the question didn't say solve for negative 18x. The question was to solve for x. You got it? Right, don't lose it. Next question. There's 13 here. Right, next one. We are told solve for x. So what do I do first? Multiply the story out. Not so. So it's going to be 3 into x squared minus 1. That's a conjugate pair, which results into difference of 2 squared. Not so. If you didn't know that, no problem. In your bracket you should have had x squared plus x minus 1. This is also okay. People, because of the square, it's a binomial square, so first term squared gives me x squared. That times 2 is going to give you 4x plus 4. Again, if you didn't know that, what must you do? Write it out twice. X plus 2 times x plus 2. My goal. Don't you like your eyes? Yes. You like it. Okay, don't scratch in your eyes. You scratch in your eye, you're crazy. Okay. Look after your eyes. Right. So you write x plus 2 times x plus 2 and you multiply the story. Again, binomial squared. First term squared is going to give you 4x squared. That times 2 is going to give you 4x. And the last term squared is 1. So what do I do now? Before that, get rid of the brackets. So it's 3x squared minus 3 plus x squared plus 4x plus 4. I'm going to bring everything to one side. Why? Why not x is one side, numbers are the other side? Okay, you actually should take x as one side, numbers are the other side. Why? Because this actually cancels out here. That's why you're saying that. Not so? So yes, this definitely x is one side, numbers are the other side. Otherwise, because this goes into a quadratic, a linear equation, that is why we put x is one side, numbers are the other side. If it's anything other than that, in terms of, and of course not literal equations, if it's a quadratic, you're going to put everything on one side and 0 on the other side. Okay. Yes?
So does the 4x cancel out?
The 4x. Yes, I'm getting you. Okay, cancels out. So there's no x's here. So you guys have no x's in your life. Nothing is equal to nothing. Wow. So you're going to make a pair of glasses now? No. Right. People, 0 is equal to 0. So what do we write here? Sorry? Is it 6? It's 0. The numbers, listen, the numbers also cancel. So 0 is equal to 0. People, if that is the case, alright, I gave you a note to make this when you were busy with equations. Alright, the note was, if 0 is equal to 0, or 6 equal to 6, or 12 is equal to 12, a number equal to a number, then all true values for x. Or, you could have said that x is an element of real numbers. This is what we call an identity. The left hand side is equal to the right hand side. You can choose any value for x and the equation will balance. The left hand side will equal to that. Okay? However, if this was 6 equal to 0, or 0 is equal to 12, or 0 is equal to minus 11, a 0 is equal to a number, then there's no solution. There's no value of x under the sun that will satisfy that equation. That's basically what that means. Number 2 is your little equations now. The question says if a of b is equal to x into 2b minus a over b. Find x in terms of a and b. Find x in terms of a and b. Okay. So what do I do first? LCM. What's your LCM? B. So I multiply, that's over 1. So this must be multiplied by B. So it's going to be AB times B, B squared. This must be multiplied by 1. So it's X into 2B minus A. Now what we do? How do we get X on its own? Divide by 2B. You get X on its own and divide both sides by 2B minus A. Because that cancels. So X is equal to AB squared over, not O, it's an A. Right. How do you mean you swapped it around?
I just swapped it
Huh?
to X and also.
So you got AB squared over 2A and 2B minus A equals X. 100%. Who asked this question? Right? Where did you go wrong?
So, I didn't type 8 and 5.
You didn't times
8 and 5.
AB by B.
I didn't say 8 and
What did you say?
6. So I just
So what happened to that B? Did it vanish? Jeez. Okay, this is something you must make a note of. I see you're still finding LCM. If there's a fraction on either side of the equal sign, if you got X over Y is equal to A over B. What's the LCM there? By. No? So this must be multiplied by B. So you got Bx multiplied by Y. So it's AY. But look here. What is X times B? Big. Y times A? So the rule is, if you got a fraction on either side of the equal sign, one fraction on left hand side, one fraction on the right hand side. It's only when there's one fraction on either side we can say that X over Y is equal to A over B can be written as X times B is XB or BX and Y times A is AY. Make a note of it. That will only apply if there's one fraction on either side of the equal sign. Okay. Okay. Let's look at number 13. Number 3, sorry. Right? If h is equal to the square root of x minus 1 over x plus 2, make x the subject of the formula. What do we do here? What we need to do first to get rid of first? Square root. So I'm going to square both sides. So in other words, I got h squared is equal to x minus 1 over x plus 2. Now what? Cross? Multiply. Is there a fraction on either side of the equal sign? Yes. It's over 1. So is it not a fraction on either side of the equal sign? Yes. So you cross multiply. Numerator, denominator, numerator. So that is going to be h squared into x plus 2, x minus 1. Equals x minus 1. Now what? Multiply the h squared in, which gives me h squared x plus 2h squared equals x minus 8. Now what? X is one side, numbers the other side. So you take that over and that on that side. So you got h squared x minus x equal to negative 1 minus 2h squared. Now what? Common factor of x, and then left with h squared minus 1 equals negative 1 minus 2h squared. So what do we do now? Divide by h squared minus 1. So the answer is x is equal to negative 1 minus 2h squared all over h squared minus 1. Now looking at this here, you see this is negative here. Okay. So if I take out negative as a common factor, you don't have to do that. I'm just showing you something. Take out negative as a common factor, it will be 1 plus 2h squared over. If I swap this around, what's going to happen? Negative comes out, not so? So it's negative into 1 minus h squared. I could have taken difference of 2 squares here in the denominator, but we're not going to, because of it's not going to simplify the numerator. So I'm not going to do that. You say there must be a plus here. No. Don't you remember when you swap this around and negative comes up? Because if you multiply this in, that's going to give you negative x plus 1. So when you swap that around and negative comes out, but the negative stays there. No? So what happens now? That negative is cancelled. So therefore h could also be written as 1 plus 2h squared over 1 minus h squared. Both of it is acceptable. You're going to get full marks either way. Right, who asked this question? Right, where you got wrong? Didn't square, you get rid of the square. So you got it from the offset wrong. Okay, anyone else? Who else made this mistake? The textbook give both answers. They only gave the second one. The first one. Okay. Take this out. Let's put that down. Come on, man. That's it. Right, here they say determine if x plus a over x minus b is equal to 2, determine x in terms of a and b. So what do I do first? I can cross multiply. So 2 times x is 2x minus 2b equals 1 times it will be x plus a. Right, what do we do now? X is one side, numbers the other side. So it's going to be 2x minus x is equal to a plus 2b. But 2x minus x? X. A plus 2b. Any confusion here? Who asked this question? Did you go wrong? Cross multiply. So what did you do? You found LCM. So what was your LCM? Read for me your first line then. It's correct. Carry on. Right? Which gives us plus b. That's your mistake. Okay. Yes? Yes? Let's go to number 5. B. Can I cross multiply here? No. More than one fraction on either side of the equal sign. So what's your LCM here? So that's over 1 over 1. So what must that be multiplied by? X. So it's going to give me x times x. What must this be multiplied by? 1 times 1. That must be multiplied by? There's 2 times x. Okay. X times x plus 1. Not so. You get over the equal sign becomes minus 2x. Okay. So what is this now to us? Trinomial. So what do we get? X minus 1, which is x minus 1 squared, binomial squared. So x equal to 1. Okay. What was this question? Yes, where did you go wrong?
So I instead multiplied 1 with x by x.
Which is right.
Yeah, and then I multiplied with 2x, but then I forgot it to go.
Always. Okay. Okay, the next one, T. What are you going to do here?
Don't you do the two paragraph thing?
Paragraph.
No, but like, so when you say like x minus 1, in fact, so I said x plus 1 and x.
It's a common factor. You took about trinomial. Yeah. But you think this is in 2 terms. 2 terms is what? Binomial. Okay, so you shorting a constant. Okay. So what's common here? X into x minus 3 is equal to 0. So what do we do? X is equal to 0 or x minus 3 is equal to 0. So x equal to 3 or x equal to 0. Yes, 0. Okay, you guys got it? Sometimes a 0 look like a O. Alright. Vraag 6. Question 6. 6E. Right, 6E. What's your LCM here? 8. So this must be multiplied by? 2. So it's 2 into 3x minus 1. This must multiply by? 1. 3x minus 3. Then we multiply by 1. So now it gives us 6x minus 2 plus 3x minus 3 must be greater or equal to 19. X is one side, down is the other side. So 6x plus 3x must be greater or equal to 19 plus 2 plus 3. What is 6x plus 3x? 9x must be greater or equal to 24. So what do I do now? Divide by 9 both sides. So x equal to 3 goes into 24 8 times. And 3 goes into 9 thrice. If the question was to illustrate the answer on the number line, what's wrong? Diana, why make your eyes so big for? Huh? You make good? What? When you're scared? Right. If you have to illustrate the answer on the number line, we go 8 over 3. Open a closed circle. Close. X is more than 8 over 3 is in that direction. Okay, guys understand? If it asks you to write this in interval notation, then this would have had a square or the block bracket, curve or the block bracket at 8 over 3. Block, why? Because that's inclusive. 8 and it's going all the way to infinity. And infinity will always have a curve bracket. Yeah, it looks like a owner, but it's actually an infinity sign. Okay. Verstaan julle? Ja, dat is antrots, ne? No, that's wrong. That's completely wrong. Trots is proud. Not happy. Happy is gelukkig. As you move. The Afrikaans teacher will be happy with us talking Afrikaans in math. Right, what's the LCM here? Why is she making like she's looking at the paper? But she's sleeping. I am. Okay.
24.
The LCM? 24. So that's over 1. So this must be multiplied by 24. This here? 8. This here? 12. This here? 3. It's going to be 24x minus 8x plus. So we create to equal 36 minus 21. X is one side, numbers is the other side. So it's 24x minus 8x, great to equal to 36 minus 21 minus 16. That's going to give us?
16x.
Sorry? 16x. Great to equal to?
-1.
Divided by 16 both sides. The inequality swap? No. So x is more than or equal to? -1/16. Is that correct?
Yes.
They asked you to illustrate that answer on the number line, which I didn't. -1/16, open a closed circle. X is more than. There we go. The question was to write this in interval notation. I say x is an element of block or curve bracket. Block. -1/16. Always the smaller number is on the left hand side. Okay? So it's going from -16 to infinity, and there's a curve. Okay. People, that basically brings us to the end of this chapter. Simultaneous equations that you can go rewatch the video, and that's where we're at. People, enjoy the rest of your day. Good morning, class. Good afternoon, class. Just remind me, how far did we get with the geometry? 10F. So, F. For homework, you do for me 10G as well. Okay? And we'll mark 10F and G tomorrow, inshallah. Okay? Huh? You don't understand 10F? G. Send me a message. Bye. I'll send you a link to a video to watch. Just say the Euclidean geometry, grade 10, worksheet 10F.